Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock Goddess here on the rocks. Total entertainment coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight, it's Nashville night once again. I am bringing you some of the hottest bands from Nashville. And tonight is no exception. Tonight, Leo Duke and the North Wind. This is an amazing band. I can't wait for you to meet this band, and let's let them in. Hi, hi, Leo.
Hey, how's it going? I'm good. How are you?
Like I just saw you like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, it was
right?
yeah, a little over a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, who is anyone else joining you?
No, it's just me tonight.
Oh, just you tonight. Okay, awesome. I had such a great time at your show. Uh,
Thank you so
the,
much.
yeah, the viewers really, really need to see your band live. So let's get to it because I really want the viewers to get an idea how you started this band. So let's kind of fill them in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the band didn't really come to be until I was already in Nashville for like a year and a half. So, up until that point, I was, my only outlet for original music was writers' rounds. So basically, it's these shows where they get four songwriters, put them all on the line, and you go down the line, and each one of them plays a song. Um, and I had fun with those for a little while, but at the same time, I was like, I want to be playing these with a full band. These songs are supposed to be played with a full band.
Right, right.
Um, so about a year and a half into being in Nashville, um, I basically, put out like a feeler post, basically saying like, so a fan of mine had basically sent posted a story where they were like, "Oh man, I love this song," and I was like, that's awesome. So I reshared it. And I said, I'm hoping to, within a couple of months, I'll have a full band set up so I can actually play these. Um, and the first person to reach out was Shannon Wilk, our bass player, who is not only is she an amazing musician, but she's an amazing person.
He's
And
great.
she is awesome. Yeah. And it's fine. I was basically like, you know, uh, she was one of my top contenders to be my bass player, but at the same time, I knew like right as she moved to Nashville, she was just getting off tour, opening for Faster Pussycat. So I was like, she might be.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, she might be a little busy for me right now, but she was still like my number one choice. And so when she reached out, I was like, yeah, as long as it fits in your schedule, yeah, I'm glad to have you in the band. And after that happened, she said, hey, I'm moving down to Nashville in a month, and I'm moving with a friend of mine who's a drummer. His name's Sam Wall. I want you to, check out his page. I was like, all right, yeah, let me take a look. Let me see, how well he plays, all that kind of stuff. What his vibe is. And within watching the first two videos on that page, I was like, this is the guy. This is our guy. Um, and yeah, we just, we kind of, kept that connection rolling until they moved to Nashville. Um, at the time, we had a good friend of mine who was living in Nashville. He's working on getting back here, um, but we had a guitar player named Max Troderman who solidified the lineup, um, or the first iteration of the lineup. So all those musicians you can hear on our current single Shameless, and our next single, I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but it's likely by the time that this drops we'll be releasing our next single called You Know It.
Oh man,
It-
that's great. I mean, such a great story. Isn't it weird how serendipity happens and these people just come to you?
Oh
like
yeah.
nowhere. Like Shannon, oh, I got this guy. He's a drummer. He's moving with, or I mean, it's amazing how the rock community is so small, but yet so big.
Yeah, it's like, especially down here, we're all kind of looking out for each other because I think we all realize that rock is the underdog in Nashville. We have a really great scene here, but we're still in the land of country music,
Right.
So
But
I think we're all
that's
like,
gonna change, Leo. I'm
I
telling
think so. I agree. I think we're well on the way to this becoming the rock capital. Because like I've spoken with some of my friends down here, and they're like, this is kind of the equivalent of being in LA in the 80s,
you.
like where all the big bands were coming out of LA back in the 80s, and now all the big bands are coming out from Nashville now, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, when I, got to that show, I was literally driving through a rainstorm.
Yeah.
I was on the road for an hour and a half, and I left almost 2 hours before that show. And
Yeah.
I'm like, am I going to miss half these bands? I was like so nervous. And when I got there, nothing started yet. You guys were just kind of like setting up. But that
Yeah.
Cowan is one amazing venue.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was as soon as I was one of the first people that Dave Hale, the guy who organized that show. I was one of the first guys that he reached out to, um, and he told me, we're thinking, either this venue or the Cowan. I was like, if you could get the Cowan, get the Cowan. That's gonna be incredible.
Yeah,
Um,
they need to
you
have
know,
a lot more shows there.
Yes, yeah, and I think it's relatively new, so I think they're still kind of working on it. But yeah, I agree. They need to book way more shows there. Um, I think there's a group that does tribute nights there. Last year they did a Van Halen tribute. Yeah, I think it was on the anniversary of Eddie Van Halen passing away, and it was just full of like incredible musicians like from the scene that just wanted to come out and celebrate Van Halen. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, just Nashville. I was there in 23, and I came back for Rock and Pod this year, and if you kind of flip it, wow, has the rock scene exploded
Oh
in
yeah.
Nashville? I mean, we had Rare Hair last time. I mean, it was good, but this year it was extraordinary
Oh yeah.
for bands.
Yeah, and I think another thing that really brought it up was we had some really incredible we had incredible musicians at the last one, but we also had like Tuck Smith doing the after party, so people were flocking to that, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, that was an incredible show too.
yeah. Unfortunately, I did miss that show, but
Oh,
Tuck is amazing. He is amazing.
oh,
Uh,
totally.
I can't wait to eventually connect with him and see him play live because he is an incredible performer. I did see him actually at the first Rare Hair when it was at the bowling alley, the East Side Bowl.
Okay.
That's where they had Rare Hair in 23, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
I must have. Yeah, I must have missed that night, but I definitely, I think the first time I actually played a show with Tuck in 2023 at the Basement East. We were doing a Kiss tribute, um, for a Kiss Cancer Goodbye, I think. And yeah, he's just a cool dude. He's just
he
not only is he a
is.
great musician, he's just a super down to earth, chill
Yeah.
kind of guy.
I mean, Nashville, it reminds me a lot of the Midwest because I'm from Chicago. And, a lot of it's just warm, welcoming.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I think that's why I go to Rock and Pod because it's like a reunion. It's like a family reunion of rockers. And, we have so much fun that week, going to shows and things like that. And it really warms my heart that I can actually bring some of those bands back with me for the show. And I mean, you were the first one I talked to when I got there. I'm like, I have to have you on the show. Because you have an incredible voice.
Thank you.
Um, just the way that your band is structured is incredible. I mean, because at first I was in the back and I'm like, who is that? And then I kind of got closer to this. I'm like, wow. You know how some people don't expect something, and
Yeah,
when you like are surprised or enlightened, I'm like, wow.
totally. Yeah. And it's like, I appreciate you saying that because, um, it could be hard in this business because like you never know like how people are going to react because that was only our fourth show and we're still introducing ourselves to like
Said that to me. When you said that to me, I'm like, are you kidding me? Your fourth,
yeah,
you own that stage, man. You
thank you so
owned
much.
it like you have been doing this for decades. I mean, that's what we want to see.
Totally. Yeah. And
As a, a rock journalist, as a fan, you know, we want you to own the stage. And I mean, if you're playing in front of 10 people, you want to play like you're playing in front of 50,000 people. I mean,
exactly.
that's incredible. And, you know, your band has got some great talent. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Shannon is amazing. Your
Shan's
drummer
amazing.
is amazing.
Sam might be one of the best drummers I've ever played with. I just I just couldn't be luckier to have those two guys in my band. And our guitar player that night, I was really lucky to have him that night. Gabriel Page was playing with us that night, and he's one
Yeah.
of the best guitar players down here in
Oh my
Nashville.
gosh. Great, great, great. So what's going on with your okay, you have another single coming out,
Yes.
right? Now, how are the shows going?
Shows are going good. We actually just booked a show opening for the Native Howl near the end of June, June 20th. We're going to be playing at the East Side Bowl.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, not the full stage, but we're playing the 58, which is a new mid-sized club that they just built in the place of the old diner there.
Oh, you're
Um,
kidding. They got rid of that diner,
Yeah, well, I mean, you can still like sit around. You can sit in like the big like booths and stuff like that. But
right?
it's a music venue now, and it's actually a
Oh,
really good venue.
they
I've
took
been to a couple
food
shows
out of
there.
did they take food out of there altogether?
No, no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. They got some really good food.
they
I actually
do.
didn't try the food until like quite recently. Uh, but basically, I went to East Side Bowl to go bowling with some friends of mine, and somebody ordered some food. And I was like, that looks pretty good. I might have to get some myself. So,
That's what
yeah,
I remember in 23. I'm like, wow, this place rocks.
yeah, yeah,
But
um,
that's cool. So they made a kind of a venue out of that front, a smaller, scaled down venue.
yeah. And it's while it's smaller, it's still got a really big stage. So it's like it may be the same width as like the main room,
Right?
the main venue,
Downstairs.
but it's just a smaller capacity. Um, but I think that almost makes it better because depending on how many people show up, it's just going to get more, packed in, and
Yeah,
we should
they can have two shows going at once too.
exactly. But
But
yeah,
great.
I'm really excited because East Side Bowl is one of the first venues I really went to because I went to that rare hair in 2023.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and that was like when I just moved there like 3 weeks prior.
right.
So yeah, it's even though we're the opening act, it's still like kind of feels like full circle moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. So any other shows coming up?
Yeah, so we have our show on June 20th, and we're trying to keep it split up between 2 months at a time because we don't want to play too often and have people get bored of
Right,
us.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that being said, we're bringing out some really good crowds. It's really exciting to see that because I grew up in New England, so people weren't really all that invested in the original music scene.
Well, because they're really,
Um,
I mean, it's East Coast, but New England, you kind of have to what's the you have to go kind of go further in, right? If you're gonna
yeah,
really see any bands.
right, yeah. And, we when I with the last band that I was with before this, we started back up on the scene right as COVID ended, or the
Pandemic,
lockdown
yeah,
ended.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so it was definitely a struggle trying to get people out to shows. And I mean, it's pretty clear why, and it's not surprising to me. But down here, it's just like people have a drive to go see live music. That's what people are here for.
right.
You know.
Live original music. I mean, cover bands, I think, are really, I mean, like I was telling you before. I mean, how many times can I listen to Paradise City done 18 different ways?
Yeah, I mean, it's like with my band, my cover bands that I play with, it's just like I'm lucky enough that it's all music that I grew up loving and I still love
Right,
to this day. So it's really I really don't get sick of any of the songs I
right.
play.
Yeah.
Like uh, I play Piano Man during my acoustic set, and I'm like I will play that every day till the cows come home. Because it's just such a great song. And I love seeing how people react to it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of your earlier music being exposed to. Like, what was your first record you ever bought with your own money?
Yeah. Oh, first record I ever bought. So I was lucky enough to have parents who were really supportive of me and broadening my musical horizons. So I was getting like you know hit with like Elton John records when I was young. I was getting the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, um, and I think the first album I ever really bought on my own was I want to say it was either Appetite for Destruction or Believe by Orianthi.
Okay. Very
Um,
cool. I mean, that's great.
yeah, and I've since I moved to Nashville, it's just been like a lot of like really incredible like full circle moments from like my childhood.
Right?
Um, so the first 2 years I lived here, I was working at Gibson Custom Shop, building
Yeah, that's what you were
guitars.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, working there, there are all these like huge artists that are coming in for tours and stuff like that. So like Slash came in within like the first like couple months of me working there, and it was insane because I was like, I told him I was just like, dude, you're the reason I started playing guitar. He was like, really? I was like, shouldn't be shocked by this, man. Like this is
Yeah.
everybody here loves you. Um, but like the coolest like full circle moment I ever had was so I'll start off when I was about 8 years old. I was just starting to play guitar, and my dad took me to go see a movie called "It Might Get Loud" in theaters. I'm not sure. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so it's a documentary where Jack White, The Edge from U2, and Jimmy Page all get together and they talk about their history with the guitar
Oh,
and
I gotta
how
see
they.
this.
It's incredible. It's like I'm not really a documentary person, but it's I will watch that thing, every day if I
It,
if I
what
had the
is it?
time.
What is it called again?
It might get loud.
It might get loud. Okay, I am gonna check this out because I
Yeah, and it was
love those type of documentaries because it digs deeper than anything you're gonna read in a magazine or online.
oh totally. And it's not only, it doesn't really go into their like, individual bands history, but it goes into their like their creative processes. Like there's a great section of the movie where Jimmy Page puts on that classic Les Paul that he played at in Song Remains the Same, the number
Right?
one, and he starts playing Whole Lot of Love, and Jack White is just sitting in the corner like,
Oh,
oh
I
my
bet.
god,
Yeah, that's going to be great. I am definitely going to check this out. But
yeah, and it
yeah,
was
I can totally tell though you have some English influence um
definitely, yeah,
in your your music. And
yeah,
just love the fact that you write your own material. Now, are you like co-writing with anyone right now or
um here and there, I mean, I feel like I write better when I'm on my own and kind of like, left to my
right?
own, you know, devices for like a better word. But I don't know. It's like I don't. I also don't like to like rush songs because like sometimes when co-writes we want to wrap it up within the session. Um, but if a song's just not sitting right with me, I'm just like, okay, I still want to work on this.
Right.
Um, like sometimes it'll take me like a month and a half to finish like a song. There are songs there are riffs that I wrote years ago that I'm still trying to write the right lyrics to. Like my new single "Shameless." I sat on that riff for well over a year before I really found the right lyrics to put to the song.
And you played that night, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I remember that song. It was great too. It's because I got to the front of the stage and then I kind of wanted to go to the back because sometimes you can hear a little bit more when you're not up front. And
yeah.
that's a great song. Great pick for the next single.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, but yeah, it's just writing wise, here and there I'll do like co-writes. Like there's some guys that I'm working on. Some of my friends in Ace Monroe.
Another
One of my
great
favorite
band.
bands. Oh my god! I actually just saw them in New Hampshire 2 nights ago. Um, they were yeah. I was home for the weekend and I was supposed to fly out that night, but then I found out they were playing that night, so I was like I told my family I was like, hey, can we maybe can you help me like push my flight out for like one more night so we can like
Yeah,
go see Ace Monroe. Um, but yeah, they're just some awesome guys. But we might be working on some stuff in the future. Nothing's official yet, but yeah,
right.
we've been interested in it.
Well, that's great. I mean, like I said, music in general, especially writing, is just so interesting to me what your process is. Yeah, because I'm a writer, but I write words versus, lyrics. But it's just so interesting to me, like what goes through your mind when like you're just come up with like three words and then you're trying to connect everything else to it. It's just really, really kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, so usually the way it works with my writing process is that I'll just be sitting around my guitar, and if I come up with like a riff that I really like, I go, okay, I'm gonna save that, and kind of work out a song structure through that. So I basically go through the verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, all that kind of stuff, and that's around the time where I start writing the words, because I feel like it's harder to me. It's harder for me to uh, write words when I don't know what the melodic pattern is. So if I'm just like jamming like words into
Right?
the song, it's not going to sound as natural.
Not
Um,
flowy, kind of like flowy, like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean, it can be a long and tedious process, but the payoff is just when you get songs like "Shameless" and the song that we finished with that night, "We're Gonna Be All Right," which is probably my favorite song to do, because I love getting the crowd involved with that one and just getting them all saying na 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 na. I've always wanted something like that.
yeah. That, like I said, that show that night, you had some great fans out there. Can't
Yeah, we were lucky. A lot of our friends showed up for that show, and it was really cool play for them. Um, and not only that, but to watch the other bands who are there also, supporting us, just like we were supporting them throughout the night. It's just there's a real sense of camaraderie down here that I think you know shouldn't go unnoticed. You know.
Right. And it doesn't, trust me. I mean, Jasmine Kane was there. And I didn't really realize this till like I talked to her prior to the interview. I'm like, wow, you were there, man. She goes, yeah, I saw you there. You were, taking pictures and whatever. But she is absolutely amazing as well. Just a great songwriter. I mean, I couldn't believe the accolades that young lady has. I mean, unbelievable. And I mean, you're in such a great group of musicians, friends, cohorts. It's funny how the music business is like everybody says how big it is, but yet it's really kind of small. And we have like a small community of just friends helping friends out.
Oh yeah. It's really cool because especially down here because there's so many you know so many artists that are like really blowing up or have blown up. They're like playing like arenas at this point. Um, and they're still helping out the local scene. Like I've become really friendly with Lizzie Hale over the last year, and she's always going out to like local shows, and it's always good to like run into her because she's like always like she's said it herself, she's a one woman mosh pit. So
Yeah,
she's just like she's awesome. She just, she's super involved with helping out the local scene, and she really cares about local musicians. It's really inspiring to see somebody at that level who takes such an interest in that, because there's so many who are just like, I got mine, so I got, I'm able to, go on and not do that anymore. But she's always showing up for people.
yeah.
So
She's always in it to win it. And, she always wants to give back, to her fellow
mm,
musicians. And I just commend her for that. She's such an amazing talent.
oh,
And
totally.
she lives in Nashville, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, just really incredible. And Vegas is becoming kind of the mini LA in a
yeah,
lot of ways because it's getting more expensive to travel out to LA just to play a show. I mean,
yeah.
here the little venues are opening up. So I'm kind of thinking that, 25, 26 is going to be a great time for, bands like yourselves to come out to Vegas and do a showcase and just really show us what you have.
That would be really cool to do. We just gotta, I mean, if it was, up to me, I would love to take this on the road. We just gotta make sure like all the logistics are
Oh yeah, of
are
course. But I'm saying that's a great thing to shoot for. And I mean, because you see yourself playing out of state, right? Like in different festivals and stuff like that.
oh, absolutely. It's just a matter of like finding the right people to like get
Yeah,
on those festivals and getting heard by the right people.
yeah, and in this business, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and you're
Exactly.
going to meet so many people in this business. You never know. Some of my friends might be watching this that can help you out. You just don't know. But
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as like musically, what is like one of your favorite guitars to play?
Ooh, so I actually have it right here if you
Yeah,
give me one
let's see it.
second.
Bring it out. I want to see it.
All right. So uh this was my big going away present uh, for after I quit Gibson. But I basically the last month that I spent there, I was like, you know what? It's my last month. I'm getting my dream guitar because I worked hard for it. I was doing the full time gig and then playing gigs on top of it. So I was like, I put in the work. So I picked this
Oh,
up.
wow. How
This is
beautiful is
my
that?
this is my go-to guitar for gigs. It's a 58 Gibson Les Paul reissue. Um, and it's the cool thing about it is that I bought it. It's a Murphy Lab model. So if you don't know what the Murphy Lab is, it's a section of the Gibson custom shop that is dedicated to making new guitars look old and like worn in. So if you look closely, you might not be able to see it, but the lacquer is cracked
Oh,
on
wow.
it. So and that's done on purpose. It's to mimic or not mimic, but like to replicate the look of a vintage instrument. You
You
know?
played that guitar that night, didn't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yes. Oh
yeah. I was
my
like,
God.
this is a special show and it requires a special guitar. You
And
know?
that guitar has such a like a hollow sound, but a warm sound. It's
Yeah.
really incredible. Uh, Gibson is just you. I mean, you can't touch that. I know because I talk to a lot of musicians. They have their Gibson finds or they have their whatever. I mean, they have so many guitars, but Gibson is always a standard.
Oh
I
yeah.
look at Slash.
I
That's all he plays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, Slash was always like a huge influence on me. So like, I grew up, you know, when the first guitar I wanted was a Les Paul because I had Guitar Hero 3 when I was a kid, and I was just like, Slash is the coolest person walking the earth, and I need that exact guitar. So my dad basically took me to Guitar Center, and I was like, "Oh, look at the Gibsons." He's like, "No, you're starting on Epiphone. You're 8 years old. You're not getting a Gibson." So, but
You had
through
good taste
years,
back then.
what's that?
I said you had good taste back then.
I know, I agree. My dad's a Fender guy, so
Yeah.
he ribs me all the time. I was just like, yeah, well, you know, I got I got paid by Gibson, so I mean that's kind of he's like, all right,
Yeah, well, Fenders, come on. I mean, that's a great, classic guitar. You
oh,
know,
absolutely.
I
But
mean,
there's just something about the Gibson sound that's just
yeah,
unmatched to me.
like I
Like
said, it's that hollow body sound. At least that's
yes,
from an enthusiast. That's to me, that's what it sounds like. It's just a special sound that you can't get on any other guitar.
oh, totally, totally. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's funny you say it's a hollow sound because and I agree with you, but it's like it's a solid block of wood. Like it's
Yeah,
solid all the way through, but it's able to come up with these, really incredible sounds.
right.
Um, and it kind of, this specific guitar, I remember plugging it in and just ripping through it on my amp, and I was just like, this is like the tone that I've always wanted in a guitar, and
Right.
it's just, man, not only that, it looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful.
Right.
So
It sounds
I'm a very
even
happy
great.
guy.
It sounds even great when you plug it in. I mean, yeah. I mean, that night, that guitar definitely stuck out for me.
Yeah, it was funny. We were talking about Tuck Smith earlier. He played a one of the Gibsons that he was playing that night. I think he only played one guitar through that entire show, which I was really impressed with. But at the end of it, it was like a really old like Gibson Les Paul special. And at the end of the show, he throws it halfway across the room and it lands on the ground. And I shed a tear. I shed a tear. I was like, I would never do that. But I'm just happy. I'm just happy the guitar's okay.
Oh my
So
God. When I was 16 years old, I got to meet Les Paul. Uh,
really,
I actually went to a guitar clinic that he put on with Guitar Center. This was, I'm not going to give my age away, but anyway, I've been a rock enthusiast, since I was like 14 years old. And when my friend and I found out about the Les Paul uh, guitar event, where he was going to teach, uh, I just had to go. I just had to be there because I was so fascinated with how he plays guitar, because he plays guitar different than anybody.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad that I got to meet him and witness that. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually, part of, I actually, put these on these specific tuners on. Um, since we're talking about, can't believe you got to meet this musician. When I was talking about the the Might Get Loud movie. I put those on for to like replicate the Jimmy Page look.
Okay.
And I've been on a Jimmy Page tear for like the last year because I was actually lucky enough last year I got to meet Jimmy Page
Wow.
working for Gibson. And because we were doing a run of guitars of Stairway to Heaven double necks for him. So we flew him down to Nashville. He played, signed each one, and he also got the pick that he played it with. Um, and while he was there, he decided to take a tour of the factory, and he was just walking around, behind me. And I was trying to like focus, but I was shaking because a member of Led Zeppelin is standing right behind me, and I'm like,
Right?
oh my god. So I put my screwdriver down. I was like, I just got to take this moment in. So I turn around, and there's got to be, there was like a solid 5 minutes where like, the CEO was like talking to him. They had their backs to me, but the CEO was showing him a guitar, and then Jimmy was looking at the guitar, and I was just in the back like, oh
Right.
my god. And then, sure enough, Jimmy turns around. And he goes, "Oh, hello. How are you?" I was like, "Hey, that's my in. Hi."
Gosh.
He shook my hand. I shook his hand, I should say. And I didn't want to be like the 70th guy to be like, "Dude, Stairway to Heaven is
I
my song,
know,
man."
right?
And so basically, I said, like I told you, the movie It Might Get Loud. I that was my first introduction to Led Zeppelin. So I told him, that movie meant so much to me. And when I said that, he kind of went, "Really?" And he goes, "The best thing about that film, it ages like fine wine. The more you watch it, the better it gets." I was like, "Yeah, man." And, I told him I was a musician and, how that it changed the way that I look at guitar. And he goes, all three of us in that movie, we thought we were going to give up on guitar and go do other stuff with our lives, but we just let it keep calling us. So you got to let it keep calling you, and you'll end up where you want to be. And when that happened, I ran into the bathroom and cried for like 2 minutes, and I ran right back out and got back to work. But that was a really really special moment that I'll
Yeah,
cherish forever. Um,
exactly. You're never gonna forget that moment. That
oh
you
no,
talked to
no,
Jimmy Page. Unbelievable.
yeah. So like here and
Incredible.
there, like I'll throw in like we did Whole Lot of Love that night, and I
Yeah,
put these tuners on my guitar because that's what Jimmy did with
yeah.
his Les Paul. Um, so yeah, it's just since I've been in Nashville, it's been nothing but special. I've been so blessed to like meet so many of these amazing people.
Yeah, and I was blessed to meet you at that show. And
Oh,
you
likewise.
guys
I
got
was
some great things coming your way in
Thank you so
25,
much.
26. I know I'm already saying 26, but I mean, we're almost halfway through the year here.
Oh my God, that's scary.
I know. But you know what? I hope they do Rock and Pod next year. Usually they do it every other year, but we'll see. You never know. But it was so great having you on the show and so great meeting you. Tell Shannon I said hi.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, when we do a follow up, maybe towards the end of the year, we can get her to come on.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah. And I want you to keep doing what you're doing and not give up and know that I give you my full support
Thank you
with
so
your
much.
band. And I cannot wait to see you guys play live again.
Thank you so much. It will definitely be soon. I'm sure
Yes, for sure.
our paths will be crossing very soon.
I'm sure. I mean, I'll be back in Nashville at some point. So you take care, Leo, and don't you go change it.
Absolutely not. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure being on your show. Thank you so much for having
And
me.
I'll send you the link when I drop the show.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Okay. You take care and we'll talk soon.
You too. It was great seeing you.
Great seeing you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Leo Duke and the North Wind. This guy is an amazing songwriter and musician. I cannot wait to see what comes from him next. This is the Vegas Rock Goddess on the Rocks, Total Entertainment. Always like and subscribe to On the Rocks because you never know who I will be interviewing next.